So I'm going to do a quick summary of the pre-drive checks. The pre-drive checks we remember with the acronym POWDERY. There's a longer video on POWDERY and I'll put the link in the description below. But POWDERY stands for petrol or propellant, oil, water, damage, electrics, rubber and UU. So obviously you need to check that you've got enough propellant for the journey that you are about to undertake. So enough petrol, diesel or electric charge. The oil. Most people leave this to be checked by the garage, but you will be indicated if there's a problem with the car. Oil levels should be good. Water, your reservoirs should be actually filled up. It's illegal not to have them filled so that you can actually clear your windscreen. Damage, you look around the car to see if there's any damage that would compromise the safety of the drive, either in terms of your own safety or the safety of other road users. Electrics, we check all the electrics, all the lights, bulbs, indicators that the car has. Hopefully we could get another person to help us with that, but if we can do it ourselves then we should. Rubber, we check the tyres to make sure that the tyres have legal depth is 1.6 millimeters, and that should be across the centre 3/4 of the tyre and around the whole circumference. We look for bulges and cuts just to make sure that the tyre is safe and that it is inflated to the correct pressure. And lastly, Y is U. How do you feel? Have you had a cold or anything that would impair your driving? So that you can assess any conditions or any actions that you should take during the drive. So improve your concentration because you've got a cold. Be aware that you've had some bad news and you might be angry, so you want to avoid road rage. Just anything that would affect your capability to drive. So if you're aware of it, then you can compensate for it. That's POWDERY. Cockpit drill. I would introduce my car. This is a Mini Clubman Cooper S. It's got a 2-litre turbocharged engine. Front wheel drive, which is controlled by a 7-speed Steptronic gearbox, automatic gearbox. I have paddles on the steering wheel. I have a central control column where I can select the gears as well. My seating position is good. I've got good position and distance to the steering wheel. Got a nice bend in my arms, which is comfortable for a long drive. Looking at the mirrors, they're clear and good and set for all-round good visibility. And using the mirrors, I can check down the side of the vehicle to make sure that the doors are closed. I'm going to put my seatbelt on. And once I put my seatbelt on, I tug to make sure that it does restrain, and I will release it just to make sure that it releases okay. If I've got any passengers, I make sure that they've got their seatbelts on and they're aware of how to use them. So once that's all done, I will start the vehicle. I expect all of my warning lights to come on and then all of the warning lights to go out, with the exception of the parking brake and the engine light, because the car's not started at the moment. My car now is showing that the electronic handbrake is on. It's showing red. It's showing parked. And I am now checking the foot brake just to make sure I've got good pressure. And I'm ready to start the engine. When I start the engine, I expect the brake to depress a little bit to show that it has kicked in, and for the power steering to come on, which it has. I know in this vehicle that I've got my light controls down to the right hand side, and I'm ready to go. So now I've set the scene. Today it is dry, but it has started raining just in the last few minutes. That might make the road slippery, Visibility is good though, we have got some blue sky. It's late on a Sunday afternoon, so I expect to see vehicles around, probably pedestrians, possibly some cyclists as I progress later into my journey. I will be aware of them. Speed limit when I get out of this car park will go to 30 miles an hour through the village, and then I'll be onto the dual carriageways where the speed limits can vary between 30, 40, 50, 60 and 70 miles an hour depending on the road. And so I've set the scene. I'm aware of my drive, and that concludes the pre-drive checks, the cockpit drill and setting the scene. I hope that's been useful. If it has, then please give me a like, and if you want to be notified of future videos, then please think about subscribing to the channel. Thanks very much.